Welcome back, guys, to Mr. HR. And remember, today we're talking about the career of teaching, specifically a CBC teacher. And we're joined by Miss Mary Masharia to give us more insight on teaching as a career. And remember, we were talking about how people think that international students, they have the notion that international students are very spoiled, but it's different, being spoiled and being knowledgeable. I think they are more knowledgeable, and that's why they are outspoken in particular events, not that they are in discipline. Now, Mary, let's go back to our conversation. I had this question. With the new system being introduced, that is the CBC, were you lucky enough to learn it in school, or did you have to go back and study it again?
In my last academic year at Kenyatta University, I got a chance to learn the last few units that they had started incorporating the CBC. But however, it wasn't much enough. But after I started working, I have been at public school, both and the private sector, and now at Kyoto School. Of course, they provide us with trainings over the holiday when the kids have gone home. So we have CBC trainings each and every holiday, and that makes me grow with time. So I get a chance to learn about CBC, to get knowledge, to be more aware of what I need to do. Yes.
And that means if you don't have passion for it, you won't be able to follow through and learn these things.
Yes, because sometimes it is not about just only what you will be taught. Sometimes it's about you looking for that knowledge by yourself. Of course, right now the knowledge, the information is at the internet, so you can easily access it. So if you have passion, of course, you will go a step ahead, and look for more information about what you should be doing right as a CBC teacher. Yes.
And what about, you've talked about the digital era and how you can find a lot of information online. Do you think it's possible for you to study teaching online?
Yes, it's very possible. However, it's challenging. Of course, it has its own challenges. But yes, I did a short course to complement it. And yes, it was virtual. Much as it's a bit expensive in terms of data, sometimes you've not arrived at home, but yes, the gadget. But sometimes the classes happen in the evening, you're exhausted, and in the evening you just want to rest. But for anyone who wants to be a better facilitator of learning, you have to sacrifice for it. I did it, scored good grades, of course. And yes, you can do it. Sometimes you can't escape working, so the only chance you have is to study virtually, and that might be in the evening. Yes, so it's very doable. Yes.
Now, as a teacher, there are very many students that you deal with. Some could be having disorders. So is it for a teacher? Can a teacher teach students who have special needs, or are there teachers who take specific courses to deal with children with special needs?
Okay, so back at the university, of course, we had courses for the special needs student. We call them the students that are abled differently. So we had the specific courses, especially maybe for the hearing impairment, the visually challenged. Yes, we have the specific courses, but still, I did the education for the regular learner, that's the normal child, and I had 2 units to handle for the learner who is abled differently. So I got a chance to at least know maybe I can do this and that. However, I might not handle them way better than a specialist could do, but yes, right now we have inclusive learning where they are just in class with the regular learners. And yes, you have to do it as a teacher. Yes, if it's that one child or 1, 2, 3 children, I will do it. I will definitely do it, because I'm focused. I want to see this child getting better day by day. So what can I do as a teacher? I can't say that I didn't specialize with the special education, but yes, if I have them, that's why we had those 2, 3 courses. courses, is units in school, just to give us the know-how to handle them once we meet them in school. Yes.
So that doesn't mean because you are not a special needs teacher, you just cast them aside.
No.
There are also students who also need to learn and who also need to be valued just like each and every other student.
Yes.
That is very beautiful, and kudos to the systems that are there that have been put in place for inculcating such particular units into the system, so that our teachers can also be well equipped. And how often should a teacher actually study or do refresher courses?
That might depend with the teacher, but of course for me I will want to do after, get one, of course, even if it's a short course. Of course, for now, after you go through the 4 years in campus, whatever you now have to get is just the short courses. I've been trying to get here and there just to boost my profession. Yes, so it depends with the teachers, but of course, once you have the passion, it still goes back to passion. Once you have the passion, it just comes. Naturally. Yes, naturally. So you just hear there's a short course, maybe at Riara, at Kenyatta University, such courses, and you will just go for them. Why? I want to know what is it all about. How is it helping me to become a better teacher? Yes.
And with this new age, with this new era of millennials and Gen Z, most people want to work on their own time. They want to be independent and not be bound by rules. So they're seeking to be self-employed. Is it easy for a teacher to be self-employed than seek employment?
For a teacher, it might take you time. Of course, when you're just out from the campus, you can't just come out from the campus and start a school immediately. And I prefer, it will be my wish, before I own a school, at least I have the knowledge of what will my teachers be going through, you see. I might not be in a position to understand them, but once you are a teacher, you will be able to manage the school better. Like, what are my teachers going through? How can I help them? Because you've been once a teacher, so you can be able to know how to handle all that. And yes, it's not easy, but with time, with passion, with patience, of course you can do it. But it doesn't mean that if you are not able to do it, that you cannot be employed just because you want to be, the self-employed at your own time. You see, go to work when you want. Yes, if you have passion, you cannot just sit and sleep until that time when you can manage to maybe open a school, but you will first seek employment. I'm sure most of the people who own school were once employed somewhere before they get to own their own schools. Yes.
So you have to go through the process of learning.
Yes.
So that you can actually establish something of your own.
Yes.
So I hope you're hearing this, guys. If you're feeling like I need to be the boss, you have to start from somewhere. You can't just start by being the boss. You need your roots so that you can grow and find yourself at the top. So there's right now there are two main education systems in Kenya. We are moving from the 844 transitioning to the CBC. What are your takes as an educator on the transition? Has it been smooth, or how has it been, especially for you as an educator?
Well, I don't think I've struggled too much with it. Reason being that I just got out from campus and started working in a CBC school. Actually, even for my teaching practice, I had to do it in a CBC school. But I did one for the 844 and still interacted with the CBC, had a chance to compare the two. Of course, we wouldn't say that it has been too smooth. It has hitches here and there, but with time, we will perfect with it, I'm sure. Yes, so it has not been too difficult for me because I just came from campus and started working for Kyoto, and that was the CBC part. Yes. Now
there's this random question about job groups. I've had it a couple of times and it comes mostly with teachers. Can you tell us more about that and acquiring the TSC number? What processes you need to undergo for you to be valid for a TSC number, perhaps?
Probably I might not be in a position to answer about the job groups. It happens mostly with teachers employed by the Teacher Service Commission. But for you to get a TSC number, it didn't take me too much time because after just the campus, once you qualified, they check on all your units. That is just the only thing that the TSC is so strict about. They check on your units, and once you've qualified, you've done all the units. because you might hear people saying, oh, the TSC are denying us the TSC number, you see, but there's something behind that. It can't just be,
missing.
yes, it can't just be that the TSC is denying them the TSC number. So probably they have this 1 unit or 2 units, and they always communicate to you. Yes, they will tell you something is missing, so you need to go back to school and get it so that you can get your TSC number. But for me, once I just finished my campus, I applied for the TSC number, was patient for some time, and of course I got it. Yes.
The reason why I've asked that is because I've really met so many people and I've interacted with so many people, and most of them were in the teaching career, and they had to transition to a different career because of they couldn't get their TSC number, and right now it's very hard to be employed as a teacher without a TSC number. It is one among the things that you require for you to be certified as a teacher who has undergone the necessary training for you, and you have been approved by the government to actually go out and carry out teaching. So that is why I was curious about that. Now, for anyone who wants to be an educator out there, and they're trying to figure out what to do, or maybe they're being forced into it and they're feeling like, I don't know if this is for me, what word of advice would you give them using that camera right there?
All right, so if you are willing to be a facilitator of learning, I will advise you to go for it. It's a good thing to do, to impact lives. It feels good when a child say, you see, I used to do this before, but because of Miss Mary, I am whom I am because of her. You see, it feels great to impact lives. It feels great to change a learner. Yes, so go for it. What you just need to do is to identify what age levels would you want to teach maybe. For me, I wouldn't want to teach the high school level, of course. I will just want to be based in the primary sector. And so long as you just identify what you have, your parents maybe are forcing you, they might be having reasons, yes, and go for it. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to deal with kids. It's a good thing to teach. It's a good thing to interact with children every day. For me, my greatest quote is always, I am a manager of the world's greatest resource, and that's a child. Yes.
Beautiful. That is it from Miss Mary Macharia, an educator at Kyoto School, who has given us a lot of insight on today's topic, which we were tackling a career in education. So if you have missed this particular episode, you can find it on MBCI TV official YouTube under the playlist Meet the HR. I hope you have learned something, and if you're out there and you want to pursue education, or if your parent is actually steering you towards that direction, we said again, it's important for you to figure out if that is indeed what you want to pursue. But now you know what education entails and what it takes to be an educator. So that is it here at With the HR. My name is Sylvia Wanja. See you guys next week, same place, same time. And remember, here at With the HR show, we say there's no luck in career, but it's an opportunity meets preparation. So prepare yourself so that you can go tackle that career that is meant for you. Bye.